Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I had to run outside, get Lady untangled. She got her little rope tangled up when I let her out to potty. Anywho, how are y'all doing? Never lose hope. Vicki, Debbie, Lisa, Mike. Good morning. Sunny side up. It's a crying shame. Good morning. Cheryl T. It is Stacy, Tarot Reader. Good morning. Charlie Girl says. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Thank you, baby. Anyhow, how's everyone doing? Are you okay, Cece? I can't hardly breathe, y'all, and it's my own fault because I smoke, but my breathing has gotten really bad, especially since I've been sick, but it was bad before that. I get out of breath and, I'm really, not an overweight person. I mean, I'm a curvy girl, of course, but, I'm not real big. So it has to be to do with my smoking. I think my blood pressure's up too because my face is red as a pickle beet this morning. But anyhow, I'll live. I got us some topics to talk about this morning. Sad topics. We're going to talk about Orinn and Orson West a little bit. There was a video that went up yesterday on AV News Cruise Channel. I think that's the name. This video is from right after the boys went missing. And he videoed a van pulling up to the West residence in California City. A white van. A lady got out. 2 little girls got out. And 1 little boy got out of the vehicle. Now, the guy that owns the channel, AV News, he is saying that he is going to have to report this because they shouldn't be having any kids visit them right now while they're under investigation, right? And he is a mandated reporter. He fosters children himself, so he has no choice but to report it. Also this morning, we're going to be talking about JonBenet Ramsey a little bit. And then there was a Brazilian mom who murdered her daughter a few days ago. Brutally murdered her daughter. We're going to talk about all that. But first, let me get this video up. Some of y'all may have seen it. Some of you may have not. But we're going to watch this video pull up. Or video pull up. Vehicle pull up. Let me get it paused. Get the ad down. Now, this is allegedly Jacqueline's mother in this video. Now, AV News is saying that Jacqueline's mom, we know she has adopted kids, fosters kids. He is saying that she needs to be investigated as well. Let's go back. Little girl. He said he did pass this video on to Chief John Walker. There's another little girl. Like a little boy. Why are they going into that house? Are they getting something for Jacqueline and Trezell? Are they bringing those kids there for some type of visitation? What in the world is going on? Okay. Let me go to his main channel here. And I'm going to let y'all listen to him because he explains things better than me. Then we're going to talk about the case. If I can get my mic unplugged. Crap, it muted me. I couldn't get my mic unplugged.
That I posted. I'll wait for some people to get in here. But this is in regards to the video of the white SUV that showed up at Trezell and Jacqueline West's home with children for a visitation. It was 4 or 5 days after the investigation had started over at that home in regards to the missing children. We were at the location. There was a little press conference going, and this vehicle showed up. And I just so happened to be turned around facing that direction. And what we wound up seeing was we saw a woman get out of a white SUV with eyelashes. After she got out, she went around to the passenger side. She let 3 children out. It appeared to be 2 little girls and a little boy. But we didn't know who was actually driving that SUV until a couple days ago when we went to whatever that is,
Bakersfield.
the other location that they're from. Okay, I'm drawing a blank right now. Bakersfield. There we go. Okay, I got it. Bakersfield. I had to think about it for a second. I'm getting old here, folks. But we went to Bakersfield, and we saw the vehicle parked inside the Casa Loma apartments, which is where Jacqueline's mother lives. And everybody around there stated that it belonged to her. And the fact that we found out the vehicle belonged to them, then I did some research, found out, yes, it does. Not only that, but I wanted to make sure that the video did not show any of the children's faces. Because we don't show children's faces like that, and it's not good, you know. But I mean, everybody needs to know. I mean, during COVID, my understanding, I'm also a foster parent. My understanding is during COVID, visitation is off limits unless it's at a location or outside of the home. But taking children to another home to visit, that's a no-go. Taking children to a home to visit where there's an investigation for missing children, that should definitely be a definite no-go. There is no reason that I can see that she should have taken those children, because those are foster children from my understanding. Foster children should not be taken to a place where there's an investigation for missing children under suspicious circumstances. And I am a mandated reporter for a couple of reasons. One, I'm a foster parent. Number 2, I'm also an ordained minister out of Texas City, Texas. So yes, I forwarded that video to them. I had to. It's mandatory. And anybody else that sees the video should also report too, because that is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to report anything we see of that sort. You know, I can't think of one reason, not one reason why, if I knew somebody was under investigation like they are, why I would bring somebody else's children to that home. my honest opinion, my personal opinion, they need to open an investigation into Jacqueline West's mother. She needs to be investigated. But that, folks, that's what's going on there. I wanted to come on and let you know what and why I posted it. We made sure no children's faces were shown. It only shows the back of them, no identity. It doesn't show any identifying marks. But something needs to be done. Foster parenting, adopting, it's not supposed to be about the money, people. It's supposed to be about the love and caring that you have for them children. You're supposed to love them children as your own.
Yes. So that is why he posted the video. Let me get my mic plugged back up. Crap. For some reason, this is hard to plug up. There we go. Wouldn't be hard to plug up if I plugged it up right. Anyhow, I didn't see Trezell and Jacqueline's vehicle there in that short clip that he posted of the grandmother pulling up. Maybe there could be a simple explanation for it. Maybe she went by there where they're not staying there and picked them up some items. I'm not sure, but I do agree with him that Jacqueline's mother does need to be investigated. Now, I thought 2 of those children Jacqueline's grandmother had adopted, and that's what one of her neighbors said, and she changed their names, and she had like a little party to celebrate the adoption. Oh, crap. And changing their names. This whole family is weird. Also, I saw some drone footage of overtop the West home. And guys, there's a body of water not far from the house. I didn't save that video. I'll try to go back and find it today. I don't know how far from the home that little body of water is. It looks like a river to me. I'm just wondering if they have searched that. This guy's trying to make something out of nothing, in my opinion. Well, sometimes there, Cheryl, there's just simple explanations for things. When I first saw this video, do you know what I thought? I didn't think anything weird. I thought, well, maybe she dropped by there to pick up some clothes. But according to him, she shouldn't be doing that. I agree with him. Even though they haven't been charged, why would she take those children there anyways? Well, I don't know, unless she was just picking up some items. That's the only thing that I could come up with. Let me go back to that other video for a second. Let me get in my history. I want to see, because I was half paying attention. I don't think their vehicle was there. Well, you can't tell. I don't see another vehicle parked in the drive, y'all. So maybe she was just picking up some items. I listened to all of his explanation, and he never said anything about Trezell and Jacqueline's vehicle, whether it was there or not. Anyhow, he thinks that the chief is working night and day on this case and that he looks really tired and stuff. I have a different opinion of Chief Walker. I'm not liking him too much. Maybe he's just one of those people that don't show a lot of emotion and passion, but I don't hear any passion in his voice when he talks about this case. That's just my opinion. I was going to pull up an article here. I do think the adoptive parents know where the kids are. They know what happened to the kids. I don't think that they wandered out of the backyard at all. Not for 1 second. If they had wandered out of the backyard, okay, let's think about it like this. Those kids allegedly were not allowed to play outside a lot. So they weren't outside a lot. So it just don't make sense that 2 little boys, 3 and 4 years old, would take off into the desert or wherever when it's getting dark. Little kids are afraid of the dark. And just think, they weren't outside a lot. So I don't know. I'm thinking that they would have been a little bit skittish. I want to read this article. It's titled, Where Are the Boys? Disappearance of Brothers Orinn and Orson West Stuns California City. The small community of California City, a desert town in Kern County, has been haunted for over a month by the disappearance of two young residents, Orinn and Orson West. The boys went missing shortly before Christmas, and in the weeks since, police have uncovered little by ways of clues. As frustration mounts in California City, signs have been erected along highly trafficked corridors. One reads, Where are the boys? Who are Orinn and Orson West? The West brothers are the adopted sons of Trezell and Jacqueline West. Orinn is 4 and Orson is 3. The couple says they began fostering Orinn and Orson in 2018 and officially completed the adoption process in 2019. They also have 4 other children, 2 of whom are adopted and 2 more that are biological, who were taken into protective custody after the boys' disappearance. Both boys are about 3 feet tall and weigh around 40 pounds. They were last seen wearing black sweaters and dark-colored sweatpants. And I just want to say something about that. When little Evelyn Boswell was reported missing, her mom described a specific outfit that she was wearing. And actually, when they found little Evelyn's body, she was wearing that outfit. That just crossed my mind. I wanted to share it. When did they go missing? The boys were reported missing by Trezell and Jacqueline West on the evening of December 21st, 2020. According to Trezell, Orinn and Orson were playing outside their home at 10717 Aspen Avenue, where they had moved from Bakersfield in September. Jacqueline was allegedly inside wrapping presents, and Trezell said he was outside collecting firewood. It's more like little sticks that some neighbors said wouldn't even burn. I realized I left the back gate open, and I panicked and came inside the house. Searched the house, me and my wife. Trezell West told 23 ABC. Once that didn't pan out, I got in the van. I looked down the street in both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold. And we know by the neighbor's surveillance video, he took his precious sweet time getting into that van, and he didn't do much looking. He was only gone 4 to 5 minutes. Trezell says he then drove around the neighborhood looking for the boys until the sun began to set. At that point, he says Jacqueline decided it was time to call the police and report the boys missing. Really? Because according to Trezell, he drove around the neighborhood. He wasn't gone 4 or 5 minutes. Then he came back, got out of the vehicle, and stood in front of it and called 911. I didn't see Jacqueline ever come out of that house on that surveillance footage at all. She did not come out when he discovered that they were allegedly missing. What did police find at the scene? In short, nothing. Police canines caught the boys' scent inside the house, but not outside. Searchers of the home and the West vehicles yielded nothing of note. We've looked everywhere possible in a house we could possibly look. California City Police Chief John Walker told KGET. We brought in search dogs, cadaver dogs. Any dog you can think of has been in that house and has not had any kids anywhere in the house. Walker said a canvass of the neighborhood turned up an odd detail. No neighbor could ever recall seeing the boys outside the West home. After repeated searches of the property, including digging up the backyard, Chief Walker told reporters on December 29th, foul play cannot be ruled out in the boys' disappearance. Are there any persons of interest or suspects in this case? Police so far have not confirmed whether anyone is a suspect. Walker said the adoptive parents were asked to take a lie detector, but he did not say whether they actually ended up taking the test. Police said the Wests have been cooperative. They have since relocated back to Bakersfield, which is also where the West boys' biological mother lives. She has also assisted in the search. Yeah, her and her family, they've been searching about every day. Due to the adopted family living in Bakersfield prior to moving to California City, as well as Bakersfield being the biological family's residence, we are assisting with conducting follow-up interviews, pursuing tips and other investigative avenues. Bakersfield Police Sergeant Robert Pear said in a statement to SF Gate, "We have conducted numerous interviews, search warrants, and explored other investigate routes to assist California City Police with the ongoing search for the boys. As of January 26th, there are no named persons of interest in the case. A request for comment to Chief Walker was not answered by publication time." So what's next in the case? California City and Bakersfield PD, along with the FBI, are still actively investigating. Chief Walker said in a recent TV interview, investigators are still going over hours of security video and body cam footage. "Someone out there knows something," he said. "They know where these boys are and what happened to these boys. Anyone with information is urged to contact California City PD at 760-373-8606. I think eventually they're going to make an arrest in this case. I don't know. I feel like that it's going to be a while for some reason. I feel like they got, based on what the chief said, a bunch of circumstantial evidence and not much physical evidence. I think the chief thinks that the parents are involved. He just can't come out and say it to the public. These cute little boys. Look how cute they are. They are so cute. Bless their hearts. What happened to them? How long have they been gone? I got a feeling they've been gone since September. Now, a neighbor at the, Casaloma apartment complex said that she last saw them on September 23rd. They were with Jacqueline West's mother at her apartment. The reason she saw them is because her car had been vandalized. She knew that Jacqueline's mother, the adopted grandmother, had security cameras out. So she went and knocked on her door to see if she could review her, surveillance camera to see if she caught anything on it. And anyway, she saw the boys there. And she said the adopted grandmother told her, "These are my daughter's kids." Okay, let me get back to my chat because I've not been able to see anything. Do those parents have daughters, perhaps? That was them and whoever they are with at this time, and they are picking up things from the house? Maybe. Now, Jacqueline and Trezell do not have little girls. They have little boys, but the grandmother, she does. But I think she actually adopted those kids. I don't think they're in foster care anymore. It's gut-wrenching. These kids have been missing for a month. Somebody knows something. I mean, is it possible that they got out of that yard without it being picked up on surveillance camera from the neighbors? Yes, anything's possible, but I just don't think that happened. Now, I have thought to myself, could they have wandered out into the desert and gotten lost? That's a possibility, but I think they would have been found. The dogs would have been able to have picked up a scent. According to the chief, they've had every kind of scent dog in there that they make, and they can't pick up no scents of no kids. Why not? The other kids were living there in that home, right? Just not Orinn and Orson. Aren't they dragging a river somewhere near the home today? Oh, are they, TC? See, I missed that. There is a river nearby. Let me go see if I can go through my search history and find that drone footage. I don't know if I clicked on it or not. I meant to. Sometimes I'll leave my YouTube on and it just plays video after video. Maybe I can search for it. Drone footage of West Home. I want to look at this river. Okay. I'm trying to think of that guy's name. There's another guy that's covering this too. I don't watch as much as his footage as the other guys. I can't find it, guys. I cannot think of his name. But anyways, there is a river. I saw it in the thumbnail. That's not too far from the West Home. It didn't look like it was too far, but I was looking at a picture from a drone, so it could actually be a pretty good distance away. It just didn't look like it in the picture. Anyways, I wish there would be a break in the case. I wish they would give us an update and answer some questions. Yeah, the chief has gave us an update just the other day, but crap, he didn't answer none of the questions that we needed answered. Like, did they take a lie detector or not? You know? It's ridiculous. He says, he don't want to answer the questions because it's going to cause rumors and people to speculate. Crap, we're already speculating. Give us something. You'd see the scavenger birds. Oh, good point. It's a crying shame. Yes, you would see the scavenger birds if there was a body laying out, in the open somewhere in the desert. Yes. And probably the neighbors would be able to smell it when the wind blowed, especially if there was two decomposing bodies. There's not much behind the house but fields and dried up tumbleweed. Yeah, well, see, I didn't know that there was a river nearby, but there actually is. I need to find that video. I'll find it after my stream and share it in Discord or something. But yeah, I was shocked to see that, but I'm not sure how far from the West Home that river is located. Like I said, in the picture, it didn't look like it was that far away. But it's possible it's a great distance away. It's probably at least, I'm estimating, 10 miles away. Because I know that they did search 5 miles into that desert. And I never heard them say anything about a river. So maybe it's a little further than that. Maybe 10 miles or something. Anywho, we'll have to keep following this case, and I'll let y'all know if there's any updates. I hope and pray they make an arrest soon. Really. Okay. So, the next thing I want to tell y'all about, let me get my notes, is I want to tell you about a case from Brazil. A Brazilian mom beat her daughter to death. She gouged out her eyes. She cut out her tongue. She used scissors to remove the little girl's organs and eat half of her organs. She had locked herself into the bathroom with the little girl. The grandfather was outside. He called the police. When police arrived, they burst into the bathroom door. The little girl's already deceased. Her organs are laying beside of her body half eaten. I kid you not. Let me get this pulled up here. I want to show y'all the picture. Let me see what the mom's name is. Josemar Gomez da Silva. She's 30 years old. They said that she was having a psychotic breakdown. This is crazy. And she kept telling the police, this is not my daughter. She's a demon. This is not my daughter. What in the hell is wrong with people? I mean, I know she's got some kind of mental illness, but Jesus Christ. The Daily Mail has so many freaking ads. I hope it don't play that video. Okay. Get down to their pictures. So here they are. Let me see what the daughter's name is.
Man walking out of a state health department run facility last month.
See, it just plays videos like on its own. It's so crazy. Okay, let me see what the victim's name is. Brenda Carolyn De Silva. Let's see how old she is. I didn't write it down. Okay, Brazilian police are investigating the barbaric murder of a 5-year-old whose mother allegedly beat her to death, removed her eyeballs and part of her tongue, and then tried to eat the child's organs in an apparent psychotic episode this week, according to local authorities and multiple news reports. The mentally disturbed suspect was arrested Sunday after cops arrived at the scene and found her praying next to the victim's dead body. Police in the northeastern state said in a news release, the woman had reportedly used a pair of scissors to cut her child's organs inside the family's bathroom before trying to swallow them. She later told authorities the child was possessed by a demon, adding that it was the demon who died and not her daughter. Sounds like she's schizophrenic. Police said the investigation is in the early stages, but they believe the woman was having a severe psychotic episode when she attacked her own child. Well, do you reckon she's having something? Jesus Christ. Local media identified the suspect as 30-year-old Josimar Gomez de Silva and the victim as Brenda de Silva. Police told reporters that it was the child's grandfather who called for help after the suspect locked herself in a bathroom with the little girl. When cops arrived, the victim was already dead, with parts of her organs next to her. Authorities also found blood running from a drain behind the house while surveying the gruesome scene. Jesus. The suspect was later taken to a hospital for treatment as prosecutors continue to investigate the case and determine the charges against her. The incident happened Sunday evening in the rural town of Maravilha, I think that's how you say it, about 150 miles west of the coastal city of Maceió. I don't know if I'm saying that right because it's Portuguese. I think in Brazil they speak Portuguese. Anyways, I'm just wondering if this woman had ever showed any signs prior to this incident, like any signs of having some kind of serious mental illness. I'm just wondering if she's ever been treated for anything or what's going on. I'm going to follow this closely. I want to see what they charge her with and see how it goes. Poor little girl. Can you believe that? She gouged this child's eyes out, cut her half of her tongue out, and took her organs out with a pair of scissors. A pair of freaking scissors. Guess they don't have mental health providers there. If they knew she was crazy, right, why let her near a child? Well, I'm just wondering, were they living with the grandfather? Because he was there. I bet they lived with the grandfather. I mean, it happened quick. She locked herself into the bathroom. He heard a commotion. He calls police. And by the time they get there, I don't know how long it took them to get there, though. But anyways, she had beat her daughter to death, cut out her eyes, took out her organs, and was trying to eat her organs. Jesus Christ, I feel, oh gosh, so bad for the grandfather and the police that had to see that child in that condition. It's heartbreaking, bless her heart. Can you imagine when that woman gets back into her right mind, how she will ever live with herself? This is just awful. I know. I feel sorry for anybody that's in that bad a shape, but Jesus Christ, it takes a monster to do something like this. I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say because, like, I know she must have some kind of serious mental illness, but, like, it takes a freaking monster to do something like that. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut for right now and see what else comes out about this case. I'm really curious to know if she had ever showed any signs of being psychotic like that, or she'd ever been treated for any type of mental illness. Now, they don't have the best health care over there in Brazil. I know that by watching 90 Day Fiancé. Breaking the door is too much work. Exactly. Well, I was thinking the same thing, Susan. Now, I don't know how old the grandfather is. Surely he couldn't be that old. The mother, Josimar, is only 30 years old. Damn, I just can't believe she done that. Gouged her eyes out, cut her tongue out, took her organs out. Jesus mercy. These crimes against children are just they're getting worse as the days go by, in my opinion. Oh yeah, I know something that I was going to say when we was talking about the West brothers. I'm thinking about getting some kind of petition together. I got to research this first. But there needs to be some laws and regulations changed when these people adopt children. Once they're adopted, the state washes their hands of them. And most of the time, that's when the abuse starts. Once the adoption's finalized, that means there ain't no caseworker that's going to be coming around anymore. That's what I've noticed about the cases that I've followed that involve like adopted kids. That like everything is fine until the adoption's finalized and no one's checking in on them anymore. It reminds me of it's like that couple that moved from North Carolina to Tennessee. They adopted some kids in North Carolina. Once the adoption was done, they moved to Tennessee. They went on to abuse the adopted kids. They had one buried in the backyard. Might have had two in the backyard. I think it was one. And they had one chained in the basement. Had been there for years. So there needs to be something done. I know, like, once you adopt a kid, it's like they're your child, right? I guess that's the way the state looks at it. And so they don't check in on them anymore. But anyways, I know some people here locally that work up at the courthouse and things like that. And I'm going to ask them how you would go about. Would we just start a petition to see if we can get it changed like they did the Evelyn Boswell law or what? But I am going to be looking into that because it is a big problem. You pay attention to these kids' cases that are adopted. The abuse always starts after the adoption's finalized. Sometimes it'll start before. But most of the time after they've done been adopted because I was checking in on them. It's disgusting. Speaking of abuse, wait till I show you these two weirdos. There was a children's book author from Florida. Let me get my notes here. Her name is Jennifer Wolfthau. Yeah, she's a wolf, all right. She wrote a children's book. Her husband is an engineer. They adopted kids to abuse them. Now, he looks like something from freaking Wrong Turn. Wait till I show y'all this. He looks like he's from the movie Wrong Turn. I shouldn't say that, but hey, I don't care to be mean to talk mean about these people because of the way they do children. Where's the pictures? Look at these two. What in the hell is wrong with him? His face is all jacked up. Okay, so she wrote a book. It's called A Real Friend. And it was aimed at 4-year-olds and up. Ah, crap. I hate when that does that. Plays those stinking videos. If someone wanted to watch that video, they'd push play. Okay. So, let me go back up here. Author of children's book and husband charged with abusing their own kids. 2 of their 3 adopted children have been placed in foster care. The third remains hospitalized. She wrote a children's book about friendship, then allegedly abused and neglected her 8-year-old adopted daughter so bad she's been hospitalized for weeks, according to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. And that's just the beginning of the accusations against Florida author Jennifer Wolfthau. Jennifer, the author of A Real Friend aimed at 4-year-olds and up, was arrested on multiple counts of child abuse, along with her husband Joseph, age 39, an engineer for Lockheed Martin. Jennifer Wolfthau, 41, was first arrested on January 1st on aggravated child abuse, child neglect, and great bodily harm and domestic violence charges. Then police booked her again this week on additional charges of false imprisonment. On New Year's Day, Joseph brought a little girl to the hospital with injuries. He said she suffered during a handful of accidents at home, according to police documents. Excuse me. But investigators didn't believe his story. Due to the height and weight of the girl, it is not likely the swollen bruise on the back of her head and the laceration on her lip and a broken tooth were caused by off-balance falls, the police report reads. Wolfthau had also claimed the girl injured her mouth by brushing her teeth too hard and might have been suffering from vertigo. According to the police report, the girl was suffering from a long list of conditions, including staph infection, kidney and liver failure, malnourishment, open wounds, bruises, and more. She told investigators she had been isolated from her siblings and other adults for months or years. She'd been isolated so long she didn't even know how long. While the girl was in the hospital, investigators visited the family home and said they found 2 other children with symptoms of malnourishment, bruises, and lack of care. Following Jennifer's arrest at the start of January, the couple filed for divorce. According to WFTV, Joseph Wolfthau is seeking sole custody of all 3 of their adopted kids. He accused Jennifer of abusing him and locking him in the laundry room earlier this month. But now he's facing charges too. 2 of the 3 adopted children, a 9-year-old boy, 11-year-old girl, have been placed in foster care. The 8-year-old remains hospitalized. The adopted parents are accused of locking their kids in their rooms for weeks at a time, and they allegedly dumped cold water on them in bed and withheld food. Investigators said they found more than 1,100 written paragraphs reading, "My body stays flat on the bed at all times. I was never given permission to move or say anything. Now I get to write about this along with everything else. I am a fool." Now, I'm just wondering if the kids wrote that. Jennifer Wolfthau's website was not accessible Wednesday evening. She's due back in court on March 9th. Her publisher, Clavis, said in a statement to local media that it would cease commercialization of her book and indicated that they have parted ways. The book is still for sale on Amazon, but reviewers have been filling the comments with links to news articles about the allegations against the author. Can you believe that little wuss is acting like he was abused too, and he's trying to get custody of the kids? Can you believe that crap? Let's look at his picture again. She looks like a complete bitch in this picture. Look at those evil Manson eyes. And I don't even have the words to describe this weirdo over here. Jesus. They make me sick. I usually never say anything about anyone's looks, but these monsters, it don't bother me a bit to say stuff about them. It does need to change, but the law won't change. You can imagine someone just come in and check on your child. They are your children now, and they don't have a right to just check on you without cause. I know, but it should be different for adopted kids, I think, because of how many are abused. He looks like somebody from Wrong Turn, Melanie. Jesus, I shouldn't say that. If he was just a normal person, I would never, ever say anything. Because, people can't help how they look. They really can't. But these two are monsters. So it don't bother me to make fun of him a little bit. Look at how they tortured those kids. Now he wants to cry. He was abused, locked in the laundry room. Are you that big of a wuss you couldn't have broke out? Let somebody lock me in the laundry room. I'll bust the damn door down. Freaking wuss. What a puss. For real. Jesus. Grow a set of gonads, you weirdo. He's trying to, now they're going to divorce, and he's trying to blame it all on her, and I guarantee he participated in the abuse and let it go on. At first, I was thinking, because of the way he looked, is he a little slow or something? Could Chip possibly abused him and he took it because he's a little slow or something? No, he's not slow. He's a damn engineer. College educated. Freaking weirdos. He's a wuss and a puss, Melanie. I got so damn mad when I seen that this morning. I've got a children's book written. I've never had it published. Me and my son wrote it. I need to get that. See if I can get it published. I'm actually a good writer. I'm actually better at writing things than I am speaking. Because I don't get all tongue-tied when I write. I thought the same thing at first. See, it's not just me. I thought he was a little slow at first. I got to go back and look at this picture again. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I watched a documentary about, I hate to even say this, yesterday, inbred people in the Appalachian Mountains. There's a guy that does good documentaries. Anyways, when you inbreed like that, you have deformities. Kids can come out with deformities. Anyways, this guy looks like he might be from that clan. For real. I shouldn't say that. He might have had a stroke or something, but screw him. They didn't care to abuse them kids, so I don't care to talk about them. Now, we got to get to the JonBenet case. Finally, I've got to see JonBenet's half-brother. I'd never seen his picture before. I'd never searched for him before, but Never Lose Hope had sent me an article about the JonBenet Ramsey case because JonBenet's half-brother is in a new documentary on Discover Plus. Some kind of streaming thing. I wish I had it, but I don't. Anyways, he's saying that the DNA, he thinks, will eventually lead to the killer. You know what I'm wondering, guys? There's her brother. He don't look like a weirdo like old Bert does. What's his name? Is it Bert or Bert? Bert. Anyways, I was thinking, I wonder if they've ever took that DNA and put it into like one of those genealogy website places like Ancestry.com or what's the other one? 20, I don't know. There's a bunch of those places where, you can submit your DNA and find all your long lost family and all that. Wondering if they've ever tried that, because that's how they tracked down the Golden State Killer. One of his relatives had done that DNA test, see what all, they had in him. And anyways, that's how they tracked him down. Okay. JonBenet Ramsey's half-brother is convinced that there's sufficient evidence out there to solve the mysterious murder of his sibling, who was brutally killed at her family home in Colorado on December 25th, 1996. John Andrew Ramsey and his father, John Ramsey, are opening up in a new Discovery Plus crime documentary, JonBenet Ramsey, What Really Happened, which highlights audio tapes from homicide detective Lou Smith, who came out of his retirement to investigate the unsolved transgression. Now, Lou Smith actually went through the basement window of the Ramsey's house. I saw it on a video. Which he was a little made man, but he fit right through that window, and he did not disturb the cobwebs in the corner of the windowsill. On the night of her death, the only person known to be home with JonBenet were John, Patsy, and their son Burke. The former beauty pageant's body was discovered in the family's basement the following day, which police later telling the press that there were no signs of a break-in, a claim that was later debunked. But officers did find a personal note demanding $118,000. It was Detective Smith who later concluded that there was evidence overlooked by police, namely an unidentified boot print that did not belong to anyone in the family, and that the killer had entered the home from the outside. In the new documentary, John Andrew recalled the memories he shared with his sister, mentioning how she loved to play with her brother Burke and his friends. However, I heard Burke didn't like to play with JonBenet. When the neighborhood kids would come over, they would be running around, playing outside, and riding their bikes. That's how I remember her. Excuse me, guys. He also recounts JonBenet being an energetic and talkative child whose presence was hard to ignore, since she would often entertain the family with her fun mannerisms during get-togethers. She was a kid who loved to keep the conversation at the dinner table going, he added. She would go around and ask each person how their day was and what they did. That's something I never forgot. At the time of JonBenet's death, reports claimed that the 6-year-old had been struck on her head and strangled with a garrote, while her body remained in the basement before she was eventually found by her father, John Ramsey. John Andrew remembers being on his way home on a flight from Atlanta when he was told his half-sister had gone missing. And while he was desperate to reunite with his family to help find JonBenet, his instincts told him that she was already dead. It's sad, but what I remember is thinking that she was most likely dead, he shared. For whatever reason, I seen a Gerardo Rivera talk show. I cannot say his name. Before it had the families of kidnapped victims. I just remembered that statistically, the likelihood is that she was dead. The main reason why JonBenet's family is taking part in the latest crime documentary is to keep her case in the spotlight, John Andrew told Fox News. In speaking out about the mysterious murder, the latter says he hopes someone will come forward and help the Ramseys with answers that can help them capture the person responsible for murdering JonBenet. I think the biggest misconception is that this is somehow a murder that can't be solved, he expressed. When I look at it, the reality is we have a murder investigation that has dozens, if not hundreds, of pieces of physical evidence. There is an abundance of evidence that's available. This case can be solved. I don't know if they've done this or not, but I'm going to say it again. I think that they should put that DNA through one of those genealogy databases. I really do, because they might get a hit from, and they might be able to track the killer down. One of his family members might have took one of those DNA tests and submitted it to one of those websites. You never know. Anything's possible. I don't know what to think about this case. I go back and forth with it. I do think that the parents acted really, really weird. The ransom note looks like it's Patsy Ramsey's handwriting. But, I watched a video one time, and it was a private investigator that investigated this case. And the boot print that they found in the basement, this private investigator actually thought it came from a neighbor of the Ramseys that lived not too far from them. This guy had a pair of boots that was identical to that print on the bottom, the tread. It looked identical. But here's the thing. That guy killed himself a few months after JonBenet Ramsey's murder. Now, his family has said he would have never been involved in something like that. CC, do you believe the DNA lies? It is not a single source contributor. It is multiple sources contributor. And the TV won't tell you who they can exclude from it. But I have the proof. Yes, I have heard that. I think, was it the DNA in her underwear or around her pajama pants? They said came from 3 different people, and they speculated it was ever who made the garment. It came from the factory. When they make clothes like that, probably 100 different people touch it. Now, that's what I read about it. I thought that was kind of weird that their DNA, if it was from people at the factory, was still on the clothing. I don't know. Something is weird about that for sure. It's almost like Patsy and John are covering up for someone. I don't think Patsy Ramsey killed her daughter. I don't think John did either. I have another theory. I better not share it though, because people get mad about it. But I'm just going to say this. I'm suspicious of her brother. I think there could have been some kind of accident or something. He caused something to happen to JonBenet, hit her or something, and they covered. I've always thought that. Sounds like a defense attorney giving reasonable doubt about the DNA. Yeah, that is correct. It is from 3 different people, JonBenet being one of them. Okay, I understand now. Cece, trust me when I say there is more proof of the brother than they reveal. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. In his interviews, I've actually watched his interviews with, I don't know if it was a police officer or a doctor. I don't know. But he just acted so weird, it's like he had no memory. It's like he had no memory of certain things. Even when they showed him a picture, and they showed him a picture of a bowl of pineapple that was sitting on the kitchen table. And he couldn't even point it out in the picture when they asked him to. They was like, do you see anything, in this picture that's familiar, that you might have ate or anything? And he acts like he can't even point out the bowl of pineapple. It's just so weird. And, and they claimed that JonBenet went straight to bed. She didn't eat any pineapple. But the autopsy report says that they believe she had traces of pineapple in her stomach. They didn't say it was 100% a fact she had pineapple in her stomach. They said they believe. I have the autopsy papers somewhere in my drive. And they said that it was greenish yellow color. And the Ramseys swear JonBenet didn't have any pineapple at that dinner they went to at the friend's house. And she didn't have any at home. She went straight to bed. But somebody had some pineapple and milk, because the damn bowl was on the table. A lot of people speculating that JonBenet didn't go straight to bed. Burke had a bowl of pineapple. JonBenet reached in his bowl, got a piece of pineapple, and he hit her in the head. That's one theory. Now, they said that he was real jealous of JonBenet. But you know what? A lot of kids are jealous of their siblings. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that he would smear poop in her room on her things and put it in her chocolate or something like that. I don't know if that's true. Family friend, the Styles. I'm not sure what their names are, but I do know they went to a friend's house for like a Christmas dinner party. It was Christmas night. But the kids wake up and start playing with toys. I heard that too. Red flag. Yeah. I heard Burke say in one of his interviews that him and JonBenet used to go in the basement and I believe play with his train track. I believe it was a train track. That is true. Housekeeper confirmed that. Could he have been abusing JonBenet? Yes. Other kids can abuse kids. It happens all the time. Older kids will abuse younger kids. Some will if they think they can get by with it. For some reason, JonBenet had a bedwetting problem. And a lot of people speculate that that's why that Patsy snapped. She was so frustrated with JonBenet always wetting her bed that she snapped and killed her. I don't think that, because I heard the housekeeper say that, why would Patsy get mad about it? The washer and dryer was like not too far from JonBenet's room. It's just simple. Take the sheets off, toss them in the wash. So I don't know. That note is what gets me. That's what makes me think the Ramseys are involved. That note. It looks just like Patsy Ramsey's handwriting. But I saw John Mark Carr's handwriting too. He's the guy that falsely confessed to murdering JonBenet. That weirdo. He was some kind of teacher or something, teaching abroad. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, guys, I forgot what I was saying. I was saying something about John Mark Carr, and I forgot. Moderators cannot be timed out by another moderator, TC. I'm not touching anything. It must be a YouTube glitch. My phone's laying here. I'm not... Oh, yeah, I remember now. I remember. His handwriting looks like Patsy's. Crap. My mind totally went blank. I hate when that happens. It really does. I watched a video of someone who went to high school with him, and she showed her yearbook where John Mark Carr had signed it, and it did look similar to that ransom note. But it also looks like Patsy's too. Patsy just made herself look so bad in those interviews with police. Because, she couldn't even recognize her own handwriting. She was being very evasive, when she was answering questions and stuff. Here's what I think. John Ramsey had done lost one daughter in a car accident years ago. Years before JonBenet was even born, I think. Now JonBenet was dead. And I think they covered for their son. That's just my theory. That's what I think. Sometimes I go back and forth with it. They didn't want to lose another kid. So they covered for him. It's a good possibility. That's the only thing I can come up with, because I just can't see Patsy and John, either one of them, murdering JonBenet. Patsy loved JonBenet. She loved doing things with JonBenet, doing the beauty pageants, and I reckon JonBenet enjoyed the pageants. She loved performing. She would perform at dinner in front of family and friends. Mike says, you are on the right track. Yeah. I just can't see Patsy doing that. Now, a lot of people are like, she acts so weird during the interviews. Let me tell you something. She's a stubborn Southern woman. And she's one of those women that if you try to make her do something, she's going to buck on you. If you're accusing her of something, she's not going to cooperate with you. She's going to buck on you. It's just the Southernness in her. That's what I see when I watch her interviews. She reminds me of my granny's sister, Mabel. My Aunt Mabel was exactly the same as Patsy, the way she talks and acts. Anyways, that's what I think. I think the police were accusing the Ramseys, so that's one reason that they didn't cooperate with police. Autistic kids do like to be... Was she autistic? He was too young to be gone forever. He'd just get mental health. Yeah. Yeah, because he was just... what was he like? 8 or 9 years old? How old was Burke when this happened? The only thing I have a problem with when I think about them covering for Burke is I have a hard time believing that they would have put that garrote around JonBenet's neck and I have a hard time believing that they would have done something to her to make it look like she had been violated. That's what my problem is with that. They could say it was an accident for him playing with his sister instead of the crazy cover-ups. Sorry. Yeah, I agree. It's a crying shame. He was 9 years old. I think Burke was really jealous of JonBenet because she was the baby and she got all this attention. Patsy spending thousands of dollars on her for these pageants. Hey, to be in those glitz pageants, you better have some money because some of those dresses for those little girls are $2,000 and $3,000, if not more. That's the cheap ones, $2,000 or $3,000. See, exactly. Think about the violation. The parents probably wouldn't have done that, but think about someone else who would be curious about doing that. Yeah, I have heard people say that they believe that JonBenet Ramsey was being molested by John Ramsey. I don't believe that. Could her brother have been doing her that way? Maybe. I don't want to say too much because people get mad when, you speculate about Burke being involved. But, I can't help it. He does act weird. He acted weird during that interview with Dr. Phil. He was all smiling and stuff, but Dr. Phil says that was just a nervous reaction. I'm about afraid to say anything about him because he freaking sued CNN for about $70 million. Hey, Manderly. I can't say that, Manda. I can't call you Mander. Oh, no, guys. I got to mute. I got to freaking cough a sec. Okay. I hate coughing when I'm on the live stream. Clarice Burke is probably on the spectrum. Yeah, that might explain it. Hey, I'll admit the interview was weird, but I was thinking to myself, he could be nervous, have something wrong with him. Who knows? Could it have been more than one kid there? And they do play games. Hey, it's a good possibility. I don't think there was any other kids in the house when police arrived besides Burke. But they could have, they could have gotten the kid out of the house if there was another one there, of course. I think it's weird that all their damn family came over, or their friends came over, their damn pastor came over. People's all over the house. The crime scene's being contaminated. It was just it was chaotic there. he was very sheltered with a lot going on for his entire childhood. I don't know. I've always, me too. I go back and forth with it. I kind of feel bad, like speculating about him, but I mean, it's hard not to, you know. Fathers molest daughters, not so far-fetched. Oh, yeah, I know, Clarice. I love that name, Clarice. It reminds me of Silence of the Lambs. I love that movie. Letitia Stout gives me the same vibe. She's a freaking weirdo. She's a monster for sure. Even in her mugshots, you can see the evil coming from that lady's eyes. Yeah, then they called the friends over. Yeah. And here, the lady cop that was there on the scene at the Ramsey house, she saw John Ramsey like pacing the floor, and she's like, hey, y'all just go search the rest of the house. Y'all go search, start with the top, then go to the bottom of the house. Well, they did it the opposite. They went to the basement first. And that's when John found JonBenet, and he carried her upstairs, which contaminated everything. Everything. Then they laid a blanket over her and everything. But, I mean, of course, any parent would probably pick their child up. I don't find that weird at all. But, yeah, it did mess up the crime scene, of course. He just didn't have a gambler's chance, even with all that money. You know, I heard John Ramsey say that one time Burke and Patsy were out shopping. And I think it was like the National Enquirer. You know how they have the little National Enquirer, the magazines and stuff when you're checking out? Well, he saw the headline, Burke Ramsey kills his sister JonBenet, and John Ramsey said Burke was very upset. He just burst into tears, ran out of the store. If he wasn't involved, I mean, can you imagine what that kid's been through? Isn't it weird that her dad found her so quickly, though? Something is so, yeah. And here's the thing: the family friend. I don't got my notes with me. I have all these names wrote down. The family friend had went to the basement before and searched before the cops sent him to search the house. He had been down there before. He couldn't find the light switch when he opened up that door to that room she was in, and he couldn't see her laying there. He said. So he went back upstairs. And then, anyways, when the cops told him to search the house to give him something to do, John went down there and found the light switch, and there she was. Because if that note tells you, do not tell anybody about your situation, do not call police, why would you do everything against the instructions to the note? They knew she was dead and in the house. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Hey, I'm going to kill your daughter if you call police. And that's the first freaking thing they did. Of course, I don't know what I would have done in that situation. I mean, you would need to call the police. But me personally, I don't know. I would be afraid that my son would be harmed. I don't know. It's hard to say what you would do until you've been in that person's shoes, you know? He barely opened the door and he instantly knew it was her. Oh, I don't know. I read that he opened the door and turned the light on and saw her there. I don't know how far the light switch is from the door, though. Opened the door without turning the light on and knew he found her. How? Oh, I heard I don't know. I read that he turned the light on. John did. His friend didn't because he didn't know where the light switch was. He tried to fiddle for it, you know, tried to find it in the dark and couldn't, so he just closed the door. And wasn't her favorite blanket found on her? They thought Patsy would give a deathbed confession when she died. That didn't happen. I knew she wasn't going to do that, especially if the son's involved. They're never going to tell. It is possible that this case will be solved later on in years. Crap, it's done been what? 25 years? That don't matter, though. There's been cases solved that's been 40 and 50 years old. If the Ramseys are not involved, I pray that John Ramsey finds out what happened to his daughter before he passes away, because he's getting up there in age. I pray they find out what happened to her, or not what happened to her, who's responsible for her murder. I really do. I don't think it'll ever be solved, but I do. I hope I am wrong. Yeah, it may not be. I'm trying to be optimistic. This case, I'm so conflicted about this case. I go back and forth. Are they involved? Maybe it was an intruder. I do know it is possible that an intruder got through that window without disturbing the cobwebs, because I watched that retired investigator, Lou Smith, do it. But like I said, he's a little made man, he was. He didn't think the Ramseys were involved. This guy came out of retirement to help with JonBenet's case. Oh, we got to do a live stream about it, Amanda. It's better when you got somebody to talk with, about it with, you know what I mean? And I don't got to sit here and talk about it by myself. I should have got my Ramsey notes out this morning. Like, what kind of intruder is going to break in the house and write like a 2 or 3 page ransom note and they request or demand the same amount of money as John Ramsey got for his Christmas bonus? That is so freaking weird. Something else that really stuck out in that ransom note is it says, John, use that, what was it? Southern common sense. That stuck out. John is not Southern. Patsy is Southern. John is from the North. He's not Southern. So that was kind of weird. Hey, I'm down. I always have toned down on Ken and Barbie case. I have photos, interviews, where they are now. Oh, yeah, we've got to do that because I've been researching that case a little bit. And I just watched the movie the other day on Amazon Prime. We got to do that. Friday, I'm going to do which is tomorrow, Dior Coons case. I got to get my videos together for that because we're going to watch some interviews. Hey, anytime you're ready, Manda, let me know. Girl, I just can't call you Mander. I just can't. Yes, Manda, good idea. Me and you think alike, because that's what I'm going to do with Dior Coons case today. I'm going to put a video together and upload it to my YouTube and on Unlisted. That way we can look at all the pictures and stuff. Oh, it's funny. Your name's funny. It reminds me of Mater for some reason. I watched some fool on YouTube won't say, but how do y'all think about this? Hey, have y'all seen that woman's channel? Her name is, what is it? Linda something. Linda Loves Music. She does videos on the Ramsey case. Jesus Christ. She's a complete freaking nut, y'all. She thinks she's a freaking medium. She makes videos. 100. I've solved the case. That'll be the title of it. Ramsey case solved. JonBenet Ramsey molests daughter. All kinds of crazy shit. It's a wonder if John Ramsey ain't sued her ass by now. I mean, and then you go watch the video. There ain't no damn proof there. She didn't prove crap. See, she's out there with her. Hey, she blocked me for nothing. You know what I said? I said, I think it's very inappropriate that you titled a video, JonBenet, 100% proof, JonBenet Ramsey molested JonBenet. I told her that was inappropriate. She blocked me. One of her viewers said something smart to me. I mean, for real. I don't get these people that go on and on and on about the same case for years. Like, I don't get it. I'll talk about the same cases, but not like every day of my freaking life. Not every freaking video. Anyways, I just don't think it's appropriate to put that as a title. Are you? Oh gosh, Mike, we got a collab. You need to come up on my live stream. Oh gosh, the fake mediums are the worst, and people get lots of views on that BS. I know. And let me see if I can find this channel. Every time you go to her channels, you've got a video. 100% proof. John Ramsey murdered JonBenet. I haven't checked in about 6 months to see what she's doing. I had to unsubscribe. Okay, let me screen share here. Let me show y'all something. I just want to show y'all some titles to these videos. There's nothing wrong with doing videos on these cases, but don't act like you've solved a damn case, lady. Come on. Okay, here's one of her videos. John is the one who put the stun gun marks on JonBenet. Really, lady? Really? Oh, I'm still subscribed. I thought I unsubscribed. Guess I told a fib. I thought I did. How does she have almost 10,000 subs? Okay. JonBenet channeling today. Then here's one. JonBenet, how John Ramsey fooled the world. Then here's one. The real proof, the biggest proof, John killed JonBenet. Here's another one. Even more proof, JonBenet, something other, was long gone, something. John did everything he could to blame Patsy. Here's another one. Just more surprising proof, John killed JonBenet. 100% proof, John Ramsey wrote the ransom note. She just goes on. Look at this. It goes on and on and on. John Ramsey is the only killer. John Ramsey, turn yourself in for the murder of JonBenet. Here's one. This video proves nobody but John Ramsey killed JonBenet. It just goes on and on and on. Look at this crap. On and on. And she'll get on there. She'll say, now, y'all's not stealing my work. All of my work is copyrighted. Lady, nobody wants to steal your bullshit work. You don't got proof of nothing. She takes little bits and pieces of evidence from the case and tries to make it fit her narrative. That's what she does. I usually don't talk about other YouTubers. She gets on my nerves so bad. So freaking bad. I think she got a secret crush on him too, because that's all the hell she talks about. I noticed she hadn't put up a video in a couple months. Look, she seems like a nice woman. She does, but she just goes on and on like she has solved this case. Me, I'm not going to come out and say, Burke Ramsey killed JonBenet. I'll say, I theorize that he might have been involved or something like that, because we don't know. We weren't there, and she ain't no damn medium. She needs to go channel some reality. What do y'all think about someone going to Watt's house and doing a ghost thing video? No comment. No comment, Stacy. I mean, as long as they're not bothering anybody, I guess people are free to do what they want. I personally wouldn't do that. But, I mean, I do find it interesting that people do those paranormal readings and stuff like that. But I personally wouldn't go outside of the house and do it. But to each their own. Let me go back through the chat here. Amanda, if you're still in here, if you're looking for a real medium to watch, look up Reverend Donna Serafina. I think it's how you say her name. She's the real deal. She predicted where Lori Bellow's kids were buried at last January before their bodies were found. And they were found in the exact location, in the condition she said. I'm going to get her link for you. If I can get it. You watch this lady. Her daughter was murdered a few years ago. Oh, yeah. Well, put your link in, Stacy. Stacy does readings, too. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put your link in, girl. I got to get off here. Did I do all my topics? I got to see. I get to talking and forget. Let me see if I can find your channel. Okay, let's see. No, that's not you. If you got your link, put it in if it'll let you. Because I'm trying to find it and can't find it. Crap. I can't find it, Stacy. I'm sorry. I tried. It should let you put the link in. Maybe. To honor Shanae. Oh, Amanda found you. Okay. Good, good. I could not find her. And I even put in it is Stacy Tarot Reader channel. And it still wouldn't pull it up. It's my name, but I'm a nice reader. What is to honor Shanann Bell and CC Nico, you know? Sometimes I really want a nice family to live in the Watts house. At the same time, I think it would be very hard to honor Shanann Bell and CC. Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to sell that house. They may have to tear that house down and rebuild a new one. That's a nice house. I don't know if I could live in it, though. Especially sleep in the bedroom where he killed Shanann. No. And every time I walked down those stairs, I'd be thinking about him dragging her down. So sad. They say someone is renting the house. Oh, really? Wow. I didn't know that. I don't really follow the Watts case much anymore. You know, if there's something that comes out in the news, you know, I'll talk about it. But I don't watch the Watts videos anymore that come out. He should sue her. He could sue her. That's why I'm about afraid to say anything about the Ramsey case, because Burke Ramsey sued CNN for about $70 million, I believe, for accusing him of killing JonBenet. That documentary made it out like he killed his sister, and he sued him, and they settled for undisclosed amount, I believe. And here that Linda Loves Music lady over there accusing JonBenet Ramsey of murdering his daughter. 100% proof she has now, y'all. Freaking weirdo. She seems obsessed. When you do videos like that, hundreds of videos on one person, you're obsessed. It was nice to see you all this morning, CC. Thank you for the stream. Feel better soon. Oh, thank you. Hopefully we'll have a good stream tomorrow. I'll be organized. Y'all come and chat. We're going to do the Dior Coons case. Okay, let me get back over to my StreamYards here. Okay, guys, I'm going to get off here. Wait. Let me look at my papers before I get off here to make sure I've done everything. I think I've done all my topics. Yeah, I will email you this weekend. I'm excited for tomorrow. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, email me. I'll remind myself to check my emails. I never get in that. Oh, you can just message me on Discord. You're in my Discord, ain't you? That way I'll for sure respond to you quickly. If you want to come up tomorrow, if you got time in the morning, you can. If anyone wants to come up and do the Dior Coons case with me, just let me know. If you let me know in the morning, I'll put the link in. Anyways, guys, y'all have a great day. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for your support. Be safe, be kind, and peace.